Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. So today we're going to finally get started on machining out these brass dowels that will go on the Victor Safe restoration that I have been working on for some time. So if you haven't been following that thread, or it's been a while since we've talked about it, but when I got that safe, the dowel, the combination dowel on the front of it was busted off. It had been beaten into. In fact, this is the remains of it right here. It has the knob that you turn, and it was still in there, but the flange that fits around that had the actual dial on it had been knocked off when someone tried to break into this safe at some point in time. So I'm going to build a reproduction, and I have talked with several folks, and we've gotten the dimensions off of other safes of the same type and everything. We've drawn them up in SolidWorks. I've got drawings of what I'm actually going after here. Even 3D printed a safe dial just like what we want, the final version, so we could mock it up and make sure everything was going to be working right on it. So we designed, myself along with Charles Marlin, who of course helps me with a lot of my drawing, CAD work, and does some 3D printing for me. We drew up a set of patterns that we printed on the 3D printer, split patterns, and probably a couple of months ago I cast out of brass the blanks that we're going to turn these out of. And I actually have two castings here that I did in brass for the actual dial part. And I think what I want to do is I'm actually just going to go ahead and machine and make two dials. Since I'm going to be setting up to do one, I'm just going to go ahead and make two of them. And that way, if for some reason I have a void or something in one of these castings, or I mess something up, I'll have a backup to go to. And some of the stuff here I'm going to be kind of experimenting with, so I'll probably, that'll give me some room to kind of practice on the first one and go back and do another one to get the final thing. So anyway, we've got the rough castings here, and what we're going to do is go ahead and start the machining process to get these out. So when I designed the pattern, it's got this stem that goes all the way through it, and I did that on purpose. Not because I really need this material on both sides, but this actually gives me something to chuck to. And it also helped in the casting process, as that was kind of a pouring channel for the brass to go in, and gave me some places to run some vents and things off of. So, but really the main purpose there is to give me something to chuck to. So what I'm going to do is we'll start, and we're going to put it in the lathe. I'm going to just turn out a good round surface on the front of the dial here, and then we'll flip it around and chuck on that. And we're going to start by machining the back of this and get the back of it all just like it needs to be. And then I'm going to make a little fixture to put into the lathe that we will mount this onto to turn the front side, because I really can't grip it from the outside because I have to do some machining around there. So I've got in my mind how I'm going to do this, but we'll make a little fixture and kind of screw this thing on there to do that. So anyway, let's get started. All right, so we've got this part in there, and I've checked it for run out. It looks like it's running fairly true for casting, so we're just going to clean up enough on this front here to be able to grip that in the 3-jaw chuck or the 4-jaw chuck here, and have a good surface to grip to work on the rest of this. like that. I was trying to leave as much material on here as I could. I was taking some light cuts because I didn't know what it was going to take to clean it up. But that looks good. We'll go ahead and take that one out and put the other one in. So I've got those cleaned up. And again, all we're trying to do there is just get a good surface to grip on. That's all going to actually be machined away when we're done. So we'll just start with this one. And I'm going to flip it around now. And we'll grip on that surface. And start on the back of these. So you can look at our sample here, our 3D printed sample, and basically the back of this is just going to be machined flat on this face here, and then I need to get the measurements on that. I've got the original measure off of it. We'll turn that down and have that little stub out, and then that'll be drilled and tapped. So we'll get the measurements and start on that. We're right on the money there. The back side is clean enough. We're not going to see that. There's a couple little voids in there, but nothing I'm worried about. So I think I'm going to put a parting tool on here and we'll just cut that off to the right length, or at least get most of that taken off. About 30 thousandths tall. So I'm going to start by just taking a real light cut. We'll measure it again. It's still about 30 thousandths. I just barely fuzzed it. I'm going to use an indicator here. I'm going to put this over on the carriage, and that will let me read in 30 thousandths deep. Right there. Right on the money. Slightly touch that. Knock off the burrs. And the last thing I want to do is true up this outside edge. That needs to be 3 inches in diameter. We're going to go ahead and cut that while we got it on this operation here. 25 thousandths over. That's right on the money. So on the back side of this dial, we got this little piece that's going to screw in here. And actually this piece will not be it. I'm going to have to make a new one because this is like a lot of stuff I run into on this real old stuff before there were standards on threads. This is a really oddball pitch size here. So that shaft diameter is right on the money, 400 thousandths, which is not a nominal, fractional size. And then it's 27 threads per inch. And anyway, we've dug around and I have actually found a 7/16 28 ultra fine tap, and what I'm going to do is that's close. I mean, you're what, about 30 thousandths bigger in diameter, so we're going to go ahead, and the thread pitch is within 1 thread per inch. So I'm going to go ahead and drill and tap it for that, and then we're just going to have to make a new piece here where this part down here will be 7/16 28, and this will be 400 thousandths 27 on this end, on the other end. Because that's got to fit up on an existing piece that I can't remake. So anyway, we did some figuring. I couldn't even find a 7/16 28 tap in any of my books, but looking online and doing some other things and making some calculations, we need to drill that out with a letter Y drill bit. So we'll punch a center in there and drill that out, and it'll be ready to tap. I'm just going to tap this by hand. So I've got my spring-loaded tap follower in here to keep everything going straight. And we'll just spin this thing in. It shouldn't take a whole lot. Tighten that back up. All right, that's it. All right, so you can see where we're at. We got the back side of this machined. Matches the dial pretty good. You know, there are a couple of inclusions in this first casting. I don't know if those are showing up on the screen or not, but you know, they're not terrible. I am a little concerned about it though, so we'll go ahead and do the other one and see if it's any better. If not, I don't know what we'll do. We'll have to cross that bridge, take a look after we get it machined, and decide if we're happy with it, can live with a few inclusions, or hopefully we'll have a good clean one on the next one. But you can see the other side here, what we've got and what we're going to end up with. So again, this whole piece here will be machined off. That was just for work holding. And we'll come in here and shape all this stuff up and go in there and plunge in this little recess in another operation. I think for now I'm going to go ahead and get the other one of these machined. I'll probably do that off camera if you've seen the process. And then we're going to have to make a little fixture to mount this to on the lathe to finish turning it out. So I think we're going to call this video a wrap. I'm running out of time for today, so we've got the back sides of both of these castings machined, and I am seeing a few inclusions on both of them. So again, I think until I get the front side done and see what we're dealing with, we'll have to decide what the game plan will be on getting these things cleaned up. But you know, maybe we'll get lucky. Next episode, again, we're going to make a special back piece that basically this will mount onto. We'll have a screw that goes through there to tighten it up, and then that'll give me a flat surface behind it to turn on that'll fit down. This little piece will fit down inside of it just right, and that'll give me something to turn this on, so it'll be running on true with what we've already got done, and also running flat. And then we'll have to put the profile in here and actually shape out the knob. And again, this front part here, that's all going to go. That was just for work holding. But that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. Leave me some comments, and if you haven't already, subscribe. We'll talk to you later.